How you guys doing? Alright, I'm going to be giving you a quick synopsis, if you will, about the state of Yu-Gi-Oh! And now we pretty much know at this point that there seems to be a bone of contention between Upper Deck and Konami. Recently, Konami took over the game, and I find something real strange going on about the whole deal. If you go on Konami's website, there's a telephone number that you can call. If you call the number, you can't get anybody, and nobody will return your phone call. Now, if you contact Upper Deck's Yu-Gi-Oh! Department, you'll get the same thing. Me personally, I believe that they are working on something together. And let's say, what's the worst can happen? Let's say if Konami takes over the game, you know, rumors are circulating that people will be able to use the Asian cards. It'd be good for the duelists, excuse me, because the price of the cards will drop. But I guess it'll be bad for like the aftermarket and third-party vendors. And on to the state of the game right now. At the last few Shonen Jumps, Teledad has been winning, and you may see a Light Sworn or a Zombie deck up in there, or some type of New Age Monarch or something like that. But what we do know is that the Teledad deck is just, it's the quickest deck right now. I'm not sure it's the best, but it's the quickest. And I want to talk to you guys about some things you can do to stop the deck. Now, there are a lot of cards that can shut the deck down. The thing is drawing the cards. And one card in particular that I'm shocked that people hasn't been really paying attention to is Necro Valley. Necro Valley shuts the graveyard down completely. And I think that would be an excellent choice to use in your stun deck, if you will. You can use cards like Thunder King Ryo, Necro Valley, Dimensional Fissure, Macrocosmos, and they got different type of statue cards that allow you to only special summon a different monster of a certain attribute. And I hear people complain about Dark Arm Dragon. Dark Arm Dragon isn't a threat. He really has never been a threat. Even before the Synchro monsters came out, Gladiator Beast spanked Dark Arm Dragon with ease. The problem becomes the support for the Synchros. Now, if you look at most Teledad decks now, they're going to pack 3 copies of Rhoda, 3 copies of Emergency Teleport, 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, and at the last Shonen Jump, Calvin Sang incorporated 3 Reckless Greeds into his deck. Now, the problem isn't Dark Arm Dragon itself, it's more so in the support to get him on the field. Now, I do believe that they should maybe restrict Rhoda to 1 or 2, restrict the Allure of Darkness to 1 or 2. I forgot to mention Destiny Draw. They could even restrict that to 2. And then bring Dark Arm Dragon back at 3. Don't get me wrong, Dark Arm Dragon is a pretty decent card, but the deck is pretty much relying on drawing cards. Light Sworn decks, I currently use a Light Sworn deck, and when I find a problem with the Light Sworn deck, let's say if you swarm the field with 5 monsters or so, you know, they're just not strong enough to stand up to the Synchro monsters. And so that's when people incorporate Honest into their deck and Necro Gardener. But then the point I really wanted to bring up with a lot of duelists is that you have a lot of untapped potential in this game. And websites like Metagame and TCG Player and Pojo, they're good sites because they give you reviews of cards, but don't turn into a net decker. Now, I do run a light sworn deck, but I have a twist on it, and I won't tell you what it is. But this game is full of untapped potential, and you should utilize it. Look through your binders and see if there's a few cards that you can incorporate to your strategy. Now, just because you may see somebody with one of those $1,000 decks, it may not be suitable for your playing style. Quiet as kept. Here in Detroit, there was a Shonen Jump. I took an old school burn and did pretty well. And more people should run burn at this point. You know, when you run your burn, you can either run a quick burn or you can run a stall burn. But most definitely experiment with your decks and play test them. You really can't get any help from all experts. You know, they'll tell you that they're fixing your deck, but they aren't fixing it. They're just giving you cards from a list, and your deck will be reflective of the deck that either won at the last Shonen Jump or top 16. So there's a lot of untapped potential in the game. And let's talk about your Monarch decks. I've seen the variant of a Monarch deck that looked really good, but they ran synchro monsters with it. So definitely pay attention to what's going on with the game between Upperdeck and Konami, and don't be afraid to be creative with a lot of the deck archetypes out there. And word to the wise, we're approaching a ban list, and if I were you, I wouldn't take $100 and buy one of those expensive cards, because you don't know what the next ban list may bring. Keep it creative, and don't be afraid to experiment with the decks. You guys have a good one.